clear it now, clear it now, clear it now, clear it now.
That's the BLM one.
Someone said he's the most expensive gigolo. Like, imagine.
It was for his creative services. How much was it? 970,000. So nearly $1 million.
Creative services. What does that mean? Services.
I don't know. I think he was rearranging her insides.
JIREH, would you say that for gigolo work, just one time, 900K, would that be your fee if you were not married before?
It depends on what's involved. Mm-hmm. So, like, what's involved? Like, I need to know
this woman. I'm not talking about the Dubai babes. I'm talking about this woman. Just the one time. All you need is one time.
Yeah, but I need to know what it entails.
Ah, of course. For 900K, you want an A?
Okay. Yeah, I do, because people are going to Dubai and they don't know what they're being paid for, and then they find out. So
it's a nasty surprise indeed.
And nasty one. If they were to know, would they be actually? Some of them do know, and they still go back for 10, 15, 20K. Is this what your life
has come to? For 20K? God,
maybe they like it. Maybe they're into it. I don't get it.
It's giving typhoid fever.
It's giving dengue fever. It's giving like cholera.
It's giving every STD under the sun.
Yeah, it's giving racism.
Giving the new COVID variant. Even stronger.
It's end times. That's what it's given. Lord, come now. I'm ready to see the pearly gates.
This is Romans 1:16 all over. You know.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's get into it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Welcome to episode. I don't even know what episode number this is anymore.
I want to say like 56 or 56.
I was going to say 56. Okay, let's just say it's 56.
I'm going to say 57.
I think it's 57, you know.
Maybe it's 57.
Come on. That means we're 43 from 100.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 57. Yeah.
Welcome to episode 57 this week. I don't know if you guys got the gist, but we're talking about what's it about? Is it more money, more problems? Or is it more money?
That's a good title for the episode already. More money, more problems.
Yeah.
Or is it when you chase after money, you get problems? Because we're talking about greed. And it's so funny. All the things we've sent each other this week has literally fallen under that topic of greed. So we're going to get into it. So that's going to include our SPAC Nation auntie.
She's not my auntie. She's your auntie.
Not my auntie.
Not my auntie. I don't claim her. No way.
No.
What his name is? And her Fendi office dress.
Nah, please, that Fendi dress is offending us, and not the way they want it to be. She needs to call, Daddy Toby to collect the garment. And I know the receipt was still in the bag. Like, I know the tag was still on. Consistent turnaround.
Like, that video was the funniest thing ever. It's like so what do you think my favorite designer is? Louis? Gucci? No, actually, it's Fendi.
So, you know, in that video, because I couldn't watch that video properly, I found it really cringe from just the first 2-3 seconds in.
It seemed like a parody.
Yeah. So, like, what was she trying to advertise? For anyone that hasn't even watched it.
So I feel like this video was shown during their service, because when I read the comments and like the way she had structured the thing at the end, it seemed like they played it in their service. If that makes sense. So they made the video to play it in service. And then the video is so random. It's supposed to be showing her multi-million wardrobe, Pasta, whatever her name is, multi-million wardrobe, yeah? So it's a tour of her wardrobe, but then she starts off going into the kitchen and saying, I want a drink because I'm thirsty, which has nothing to do with the wardrobe. So
of course she's thirsty. She can't afford the water in that fridge.
She should be thirsty for the word.
She's not.
For material things.
So she now goes to the fridge and then she goes, oh, actually, let me check if there's anything appropriate to drink in the fridge. And then
sorry, is this for a church? What you mean appropriate? Hey,
the thing is,
the rock boys, come on.
If you look across the counter, there's like 4 bottles of wine in the corner. So I'm like, what else is in your fridge?
So we getting lit tonight.
Like, let me check if there's anything appropriate in here. And she's like, No, there isn't anything appropriate. I guess we're gonna have to drink water. It's good for your skin anyway. Then she like she opens the fridge. I don't even think the fridge light comes on. You don't even see what's in there. And she grabs the water jug and closes the fridge immediately.
Wow.
Then she grabs and then she drinks water and then it cuts to her wardrobe. And I was like, why did we need to see that? It was such awkward acting. They could have just taken that out and saved us some embarrassment, saved us some shame, you know.
I think the caption of the tweet was like, look at the multi-million whatever her pastor is living in. I'm sorry, but why is that a thing that you're showing in your service? Like,
Why
at
is
no
that
point
something for people to come to your church? I don't get it. Is it like
at no point
a
did
badge of
Jesus
honor?
turn around and like show us his swag or bling
Literally,
or gather us
It was-
together and watch him strut. Like,
it was so weird. Like, and as she was going up the stairs, she was talking about how, oh, my fashion, you know, in SPAC Nation has changed over the years, and it shows pictures of like when she was younger. I think like the church seems to have been around for a long time, maybe under a different name or like different leadership. So it showed like then when she was like, oh, I used to play keys or sing or whatever. She's like, then Pastor Toby made me stop singing, whatever. She was just giving her backstory and just like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, I'm so happy that now you see like all the girlies coming in their Chanel and their Louis Vuitton and their Fendi. She's like, I'm just like so happy. Everyone's just turning up to church in their designers. And I was like, this is weird.
can you imagine having to go to Selfridges and renting out a Michael Kors bag every time you go to church?
It's so weird.
So like, what did they do for crossover service? They must get the most expensive drip
No.
ever.
Oh yeah.
But imagine if
people
they-
hire
if-
cars and everything.
Imagine if they wear it and someone spills something on it. Oh my gosh.
They'll take you out.
Must-
Security will take you out.
You can't return.
To me, I don't get it because they're trying to operate like a church. We've talked about these.
They're not a
people before.
church.
They
If
try
it-
to operate like
yeah.
a church, but then they're not one. That's the problem. So
Mm.
I don't know. Like these official organizations don't seem to close them down. Nothing seems to happen to them. They go away, get a new name, or go under a new company, and for some reason, they're really proud over material wealth and material possessions, things
Mhm.
that they can't take with them, things that
Things they
can't be
take with
stored in
them.
heaven, like
Mm.
things that
Correct.
will just that the moths and the flies and the caterpillar, the cankerworm, all these things will just take over. Like I don't get it. I literally don't get it. Like I understand you want the finer things in life, but they have taken it to the excess, like the excess. And also,
Yeah.
what tends to happen is none of these guys look good because unfortunately, designer clothing isn't always the best clothing.
And if you don't know how to dress, you
if
can shop in
Balenciaga,
Selfridges
listen,
styles,
all you
Balenciaga,
want.
you
You still
dusty
know how to
guys,
dress.
this company, Balenciaga. If you can sell
Balenciaga.
shoes that look like raggedy ass
It's a
shoes,
social experiment. It has to
and-
be.
and you
Balenciaga
think
is the
that's
new Supreme.
acceptable, then
It's the new Supreme.
the
They
Imagine
Lord
we
is coming
see-
for you.
Imagine
The
with Siri,
Lord.
JIREH's next to real and his name walking over of Balenciagas. So
And
I
the
have so
homeless
many
shoes.
things. I have so many things to say about SPAC. I genuinely don't think they're trying to even put up a front as a church. I genuinely believe that they're a money laundering scheme. I believe
like
that the
Ozark.
I've not watched it, but I believe I don't like watching things about crime or people killing each other.
That's
not my
literally
bag.
everything.
No, I find shows that don't do that and I watch them over and over and over again. But I genuinely believe that they're a money laundering scheme. And I think they've stopped trying to even be a church, because how can it be that as a pastor, all you want to do is show us your raggedy, ill-fitting, not nice, not complimenting Fendi dress? You could get that from PLT. Literally, the only difference is they don't have that weird sash across the middle, like you know that one that says like PLT, because you have to cut it if you want to wear it out. I'm sorry, but those dresses,
What's
the
this?
tag,
I don't understand.
basically, if you buy clothes from certain brands, they'll put like a sash across the front, so you can't just like wear it and return it because you need to cut the sash off.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm like,
Wow.
that's literally the only difference. You could get that dress off AliExpress as far as I'm concerned. Like, why is that the
Or
thing that you want to
DHgate?
I don't know what that is. Wish.com, I don't know, just pay for delivery. Like, that's why is that what you want to showcase to your church members? Most of them are young people. They can't even afford to put 2 coins together to get themselves something that's actually high quality.
But some
what
of
you're
them can take out a loan, which is how they operate.
yeah, like you're literally damaging lives, and you're doing it so brazenly. Like, it's so blatant. You're not even trying to pretend anymore. I don't get it. I don't, and obviously I know they're like this whole offendy thing, but we're tired. No, please stop it.
We don't want to be offended.
No,
And what happens is
you're offensive to us. Like,
I don't
no.
I don't think I'll ever forget Reggie Yates' documentary when he went there and he absolved them technically from everything they were
God.
doing. You're thinking this is a big presenter on BBC, and in the end, oh, there's nothing conclusive. They're just a church. I said, oh, so is that how you think churches operate? If that's the case, then you are so far removed from what an actual church is. Granted, there are bad churches out there. There are churches that definitely operate in greed. That's why some churches are so heavy on the offering and the tithe. If you're not giving, then what are you doing? You can't be a Christian. You're not giving your life to Christ. If you're not giving money, you need financial seed, financial offering.
I'm tired of hearing about seed.
Huh?
No more. I said I'm tired of hearing about seed. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm
Okay.
tired. Can I just say,
Are
I
you
feel
in
like
the seed?
oh my God. Okay, no, that's not, you know exactly what I mean. I love my Bible study group. I think SPAC would start being so offensive to us if we stop thinking of them as a church. If we just think of it as a social enterprise, right? Where people just, because even that video looks like the opening of like an Afrobeat like song where like impoverished artists get a hammer and they jump in front of it with like light skin and white babes that would never ever live there.
That's like early Burna Boy music videos.
Yeah, like if you genuinely think of it as just some sort of social enterprise that's there to scam young people and destroy their lives.
But can you call it a social enterprise then?
Yeah, social enterprises don't do that.
They're for good.
Maybe
use.
this is a new brand, right? Because clearly charities don't know.
Antisocial enterprise.
All I'm saying is when charities aren't reporting to people, we see exactly what happens. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But on the because he said Reggie Yates did that documentary and obviously it was not good. I believe that the Common Sense Network have announced that they're going to be doing a documentary into SPAC. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see them torn apart like shredded chicken. I believe the evil they've done in the Black community is enough. And I'd like them to keep it to their corner of London and not bring up here.
It's like, rest in peace, Auntie. The evil you have done is enough.
Is enough. Is enough. It's enough. I'm sorry, but they're not a church, so I can't think of them as a church. You don't preach the gospel. You literally preach things that are against God. You're destroying lives. You're taking young people out of their families. You're lying. You're conniving. You're greedy. That's not a church. It's just a gathering of thieves. Yeah,
that's a business. That's how
businesses that always what's it called?
And the thing is, like,
get bankrupt every other week.
They've like helped like young people who've been excommunicated from their families or don't talk to their families like that anymore to like make their own businesses. So they'll get like hairdressers and makeup artists and like rent out a space where they can do hair and makeup and stuff like that. So they've really like learned how to rope people in and keep them there, keep them loyal. And even with these branches that they're using to rope in 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls to come and stay in there.
Yeah, they were doing it on TikTok
and the TikTok.
Men. Yeah, they were advertising on TikTok and trying to rope girls in, like young girls as well. Like I find it weird when they're asking girls from like 12 to 14 to 15 specifically to come in. It's like that's a very specific group of people, like
and
age group.
That's weird.
Fortunately, those TikTok accounts got taken down, so we thank God for that. But yeah, I'll just never forget like when SPAC Nation first came into the scene, and I was talking to a few of my Christian friends, and I was saying, "This doesn't look right. This doesn't feel like a church." And back then, they were showing more of their preaching and whatnot. And I said, "This still doesn't feel like a church." And they said, "You don't know what happens in churches. Every church has its own way of doing things, and said, okay, yeah, all right, okay, well, here we are now. Literally, we're down the line, and people's worries were justified because the signs were there, and people tried to ignore it because they had so many young people in there. If you think that's a good sign of a church, the amount of people, then you clearly don't know what the church is meant to be.
I think the initial appeal was that SPAC was reaching people that the normal church couldn't.
Gang members and stuff.
Yeah, in terms of like taking them out of that life. And obviously for us who, I don't know if you guys have been in gangs, I've not, but like it's hard to, no, JIREH, you've not. It's hard to like imagine how entrenched like someone can be, especially when they've been indoctrinated. And okay, JIREH, when they've been indoctrinated, and like coerced and like groomed by all the gang members. And so it seemed like this church is created here, and it can actually meet those people where they are and bring them to God. Like that zeal and that passion you have for killing people and stealing and robbing, turn that zeal around and actually use it to capture souls for Jesus. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's why I was initially like, oh, actually, no, maybe it's not so bad, right? Because as long as the word is still being preached, and they see other people that look like them and maybe speak like them and come from the same background as them, it would be great. And I'm sure like their families would have been happy seeing that their young boys and girls aren't involved in gang life anymore. And then I don't know what happened, but one day I saw like 14 pastors being ordained, all like in their early 20s, and they were all wearing lubes. And I was like, wait, I don't get it. Is it that when you become a pastor, they hand you a pair, or must you rub it from someone on the street and then wear it to church, and that's how you become ordained? And then when you're hearing about
you didn't know. You didn't
Yeah.
know that's how it worked.
Yeah, you're walking down the street and it just ripped them off your feet. And it just like the idea of like taking young children out of their homes rather than actually trying to fix their homes to begin with, or like bringing Christ into the community. They weren't doing that. They were just taking those kids out of the community to take them elsewhere. And I saw one of the TikToks that he said, there's a lady on Twitter called Lillian, whose life job is literally like trying to tell SPAC apart. And she was showing us these videos of like young girls that go to SPAC who have like older brothers, or like, this is my dad, but your dad is like 24 and you're like 16, who take me out. They take me to like Selfridges, they buy me designer stuff, they take me out to expensive dinners in the Shard, they just look after me, they take me to their multi-million-pound home.
That sounds like grooming.
It is grooming. And she was like, honestly, like, come to our church, like we can link you up with these people and they'll look after you as well. And I'm like, this is just grooming. You are literally just grooming these kids, because aside from monetary gain, what else are you adding to their lives? And why is it that you can't funnel those funds into the communities that they come from so that their own parents can bring them up? Like, even when you look at social workers and stuff, they will only take kids away unless it's absolutely necessary. What they try to do is keep you in your family and try and fix whatever situation that's going on that makes it inhabitable for the child. Why? Because it's best for you to be brought up in a home, not by a bunch of 24, 25-year-olds who don't have any legitimate money to their name, and all they can do is take you to the Shard and buy small croissant for you, or croissants, or whatever it is, to like entice you. That's not a church. That's a pimp.
It's an enterprise, joint
a bad
enterprise,
social enterprise.
Yeah, an antisocial enterprise. It's yeah, I don't know, man, because like as Christians, we see these things and we need to be doing better to pull people away, but we have to also realize that some of the people, well, a lot of the people that are in there might not have the strong foundations that is needed to be a Christian. And obviously, because they come from the world, the things of the world are really enticing. So things like designer, all these fancy mancy things that they like, especially when you're young. I also kind of semi-blame influencer culture, because there's a lot of influencers who are young, who seem to have a lot of money and a lot of nice things. So people who are young themselves think, oh, by a certain age, I need to be able to do this. I need to be able to get that. And if I don't have it, I'm a failure. So let me just jump start now and get to where I need to go to. lo and behold, you know, I feel like it's SPAC Nation is almost like slotted itself in perfectly in the time of when influencer culture is on the rise, and where you can take people for an idiot, you know, you can take advantage of them. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because people said, you know, this is what's wrong with the body of Christ, etc. And said, well, the body of Christ has always had lots of attacks, so this is nothing new. It's just that this is new in regards to where we are with celebrities, people who have become celebrities that just used to be like us. Yeah, it's it's disheartening. It is disheartening. That's why on my TR, I don't really try to engage with anything that's with SPAC Nation. But lo and behold, both of you had to send me that video that I was just ignoring anyway.
I was so confused.
You know what was funny? Aramide sent it to me first, and then Anna literally like minutes later sent it to me. I said, I need a more diverse timeline. I need to stop following Black people. That's a start, because everyone sees the same thing.
Nah. And can I just say, even as an adult, like influencer culture still impacts you, like maybe not in terms of like buying expensive things, but like where you should be at a certain age. You know, if you don't have a house when you're under 25, what are you really doing? And I think
if you haven't flown all over the world by a certain age, are you
like
really enjoying soft life?
Yeah, and if you're not earning like 70K as a 25-year-old, what are you doing? And imagine if that pressure, we can feel it as like adults. Imagine how much stronger it would be for younger people who literally, they're more impressionable, and it just now they'll believe that at a certain age, certain things are the norm. And it's like, it's really, really not. Like, it's not. It's not. Oh, it is well. But yeah, talking about UK influencers, Anna, do you want to lead us? The ghetto. Not a white refrigerator.
No, you guys, I don't understand. Like, I think, I don't know who needs to send me a message and explain, or a detailed email or essay, because like, okay, you guys, there's cheap flights to Dubai, like around from, actually it's been going on since like March. So fine, enjoy a cheeky holiday there, yeah? I can see those, you know, £200 flights. I'd go if I had the time to. Fine, okay? And then I'm just seeing that some of you influencers are just being influenced instead of influencing, if I should put it that way. And consuming things that maybe isn't good for your health, like
it's ungodly. Ungodly.
Oh my god.
Consuming things that maybe should be in the toilet.
Having relations with things that eat out of toilets.
Yeah.
With things that may not be considered Homo sapiens. So
things that are not halal.
Haram and
to explain.
Can I just say, stuff like this isn't actually new.
No,
like, I remember years ago, people talking about some of the stuff that the baddies are doing in Dubai. Okay.
And I've never been with a baddie.
Hey, well, don't worry. There's a reason why. Because they're in Dubai and they're eating literal poo. So obviously, disclaimer
that gives a whole new meaning to doo-doo breath, but yeah.
Okay, this is not hating on the influencers and people that go to Dubai, because JIREH don't, because Dubai is clearly a destination. UAE, Egypt, them places there, like, they're obviously nice and stuff. Like, the weather is dry. And then
the weather is dry.
It doesn't rain. Right. So
that means it dries on your mouth.
And you hear that the daughters of God, made in his image, are getting on all fours to do such heinous acts. Basically, they're having sex with animals or raping animals. I don't know. It's not consensual by any means. By any means.
Do you agree?
Yeah. they eat poo, drink wee. On a more serious note, some of the stuff isn't explained to them. So when the Alhaji or whoever it is invites you over to Dubai, puts you in the big Burj Khalifa, takes you out for meals.
No.
Takes you out for meals, buys you lots of oud, and lots of like, you get to see lots of people doing belly dancing, all them things there. Takes you to the beaches so you can swing your camera around. Takes you on a yacht where you can shake your ass in a thong. And then when you've enjoyed yourself fully, bearing in mind this person has easily spent less than $1 million on you, takes you to a room and says, now you deliver my end of the bargain. And they inflict all sorts of things.
You're leaving this room
without literally, you think you're leaving this place without doing all sorts of these acts. Like, they don't tell them.
They are yamming.
And if you really want to hear what's really happening, there's a particular hashtag that you can view at your own risk. And I did. And I saw a video of a man having sex with a dead chicken. And I reported it instantly. And Twitter was like, actually, we can have, like, there's no restriction on adult content. And I went back and I filed it again, saying under a different category, because technically you can have porn on Twitter, and that, I imagine, is a category for you if you watch porn. If you do, please repent. But it's a hashtag called Dubai Porta Potty, because apparently that's what they're treating people as a toilet. My thing is,
how
much would you pay?
I don't think toilets get treated the way that they're getting
What's
treated.
the fee? Because you can never pay me enough to allow someone to do that to me. I don't know about you guys, but why is it that our baddies are traveling to Dubai and are coming back and telling us that they enjoy themselves when they're not telling us the reality of how they came across the funds?
Because what do you want them to say?
Tell us. They like to do daily vlogs. Why did you miss that out? Why?
Maybe because they had to sign NDAs.
Yes, an NDA. You know, they don't have their phones with them. They normally don't have their passports or anything like that with them. They confiscate all that.
Okay, then that's not consensual sex. I'm talking about the ones who are going there for that, to get the money to come back,
so
spend it and go back.
There's different categories. There's
some
people who are forced.
People literally don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah, some people don't know.
And are basically like raped and treated like
a rag doll. Yeah, like
an object.
Yeah, and literally, like, they just release all their fetishes on them in secret, because a lot of these people are like religious men, so they get females to sign NDAs so that their reputation in public isn't ruined. And obviously, because in public they can't do all these like things that they think about, or the fetishes that they have, they literally like get these foreign girls and release all their fetishes on them, usually more than one guy at a time. Usually in a remote area, so they take you out on a boat or something, so you can't even run away.
Or they'll have you in a hotel high up, because there's lots of those hotels, and it's miles away from like public transport or anything like that. So they've got you dead and rights right there. And then I may have other girls with them as well who are also normally really scared. I read a story of a flight attendant from America who met a guy who seemed really lovely, etc., was doing everything for her, paying for this, paying for that. She was sleeping in a room and then was invited to one room, and there was other girls there. They locked the door, and they just did everything.
Unleashed.
Yeah, there was the poo, the pee, the vomiting, drinking the vomit, all that stuff.
Oh God.
The human centipede.
Oh God. Okay, sorry, trigger warning. All of this stuff is
it's
and usually what they do is like they spend the money on you first.
Yeah. So that you feel coerced into doing it. But you
know what? The story, can I say?
Let me say this. There was one story where the guys, the men in the room said, we'll give you like 50K, I believe, if you do this. But if you don't, you'll just leave the room and there's nothing that you'll get for it. But what they'd already do is they'd already do things to them first. And then they'll say, you'll get 50K if you make it through the night. You're thinking the night, look, that's a long time. There's a lot of hours. I know we sleep, so it doesn't feel like it's long, but when you're awake, you have
No,
to do
when you're
things.
planking, a minute feels like an hour. And so an hour of
30
someone
seconds feel like,
inflicting.
yeah. Yeah, so that was one of the stories that I read, and I think the girl said that she, in the story, said that she stayed because if she was going to be there and not get anything for it, then, and this was just a normal girl who was meant to be a flight attendant, and this brings us to the conversation of greed, because with that opportunity, she could have just left, you know, she wouldn't have gotten anything, but I remember reading the comments and people said at least she got her money. I said, what's going on in the world? People are so like obsessed with getting money that they'll be willing to do anything for it. And it's funny because even at the recording of today, what day is it? 19th of May. I remember seeing Mike's tweet about the lottery ticket, and he said if your friend bought you a lottery ticket as a joke, as a birthday present, but you won 100 million, what would you do? Would you split it 50-50? Now I said I would give them 30 million. I would give them 30%. And Mike said, why not 40? Why not 50? And I said, well, there's no reason. I'm just giving them 30%. But if you can turn your nose up at 30 million, then you've got bigger problems. Now, people will say I'm being greedy, but I'm also saying if you're giving someone a gift, it's a gift. You don't actually have any entitlement to it. The person could just give you £1 to reimburse you for the ticket that you got for them. But the fact that they're giving you anything is grateful. Other people have the objection of, well, if your friend didn't get the ticket, you wouldn't have any money whatsoever. And I said, well, okay, that's a hypothetical, but they bought the ticket. So now we have the money. What do you want?
Yeah.
You want 50-50? Okay. In fact, I'll give you 50 whilst I have to divide my 50 with other people as well. Like, come on, let's be serious. But yeah, that was a side note. These Dubai girls, these Dubai babes, influencers, you have to now start wondering when you look at certain people's profiles on Instagram, what did they do as a job? And if you see a location that is Dubai, what did you have to do to get that money? Because 50K is not enough. 50K is people's like yearly salaries, and you're getting it, and they don't have to do much to get it. You're yamming on doo-doo. Yamming. You're on doo-doo. You're eating ass where the doo-doo comes from. Some of this doo-doo does not look healthy, does not look like a good color. Stop. And it's never, ever. And you know what's worse? But you know what's worse? They take tablets. They take diarrhea, not diarrhea. What is it? Laxatives. So it flows. So
God.
That's the worst part.
This is the worst episode we've ever done. This is easily the worst topic we've ever explored.
So bad. The thing is, like, especially if you're not from the UK, like you have to go back and pay for hospital fees. Like, if you're from America, that ain't free.
Can you imagine putting strain upon the NHS?
They're gonna spend like 10K on your hospital fees anyway. Like, it's not worth it.
Can I? Okay, sorry. We need to stop. We need to just move past this.
Sorry,
quickly.
it's just Nike commented on one of my posts again.
Come on. When would they stop commenting and start giving you money is what I want to know. And when will you share that money with your friends? Okay. My thing is, so in the thread that I saw, obviously this girl has gone to Dubai and this horrible thing has happened to her, and she was like, I'm literally lucky to be alive. Like 4 men pounced on me and did these horrible things to me. And they literally dumped her, like where she was meant, like at her accommodation where she was staying. And she was obviously in a horrible state. And her friend was like, oh, is that all that just happened? And she was like, oh yeah, it's to be expected. And it seems that there are people out there who know what's happening and don't even tell their friends. I'm sorry, but I feel like
she asked
women
for advice on whether to go for
let me just say this. So
women can be pimps.
When I was speaking to Anna tried to say, look at men, blah, blah, blah. I said, was it the men that knew what was going on? But of course they did. But her friend, who was a woman, knew what was going on and sent her into that room. And when her friend came out, she said, oh, it's normal. You'll get used to it. Are you okay?
I refuse to get used to such things. Nah. And I think people don't realize, like, like women can like, and it's not just males. Like when people think about pimps, they just think of men, but women can also be pimps. Like
Yeah,
women
have,
can
like,
be
madams.
madams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that involved in all sorts of trafficking. But my thing is, we should not normalize this. A lot of things are normalized. Being an angry person is normalized. Being someone who hates everyone else is normalized. Doing drugs here and there, you know, dabbling in a bit of sniffle, you know, slapping that wrist, like, yeah, that stuff is
Wait, that video
normalized.
that you sent me, what that I sent you of that pastor said that
Yeah,
was
he was
doing
like,
a bit of everything. He said,
like, dang, bro, like, why are you slapping your elbow like that? He was like, I did that here on, like, for heroin. Like, that's normalized. But going to foreign countries, not even foreign countries, going to any place where someone is going to treat your body like an object, like there's no human being attached to it, that is absolutely not normal. Raping animals is not normal. What's it called? Doing anything that you sorry, I don't have words. None of this is normal, and it shouldn't be.
Themselves more, like, I don't understand.
How do you go to bed at night knowing that someone's peed on you and they've made you eat your own vomit?
Like, come on, rate yourself.
And the thing is, these men aren't going to be doing that to their wives. I'm sorry, they're not going to be doing that. They look for the foreign babes, the ones that
if
they never had to see again.
Daughter, best know they're posting up. Best know they're posting
you know,
up.
the thing is,
Everyone is getting scattered.
They could actually do this with the inhabitants of Dubai, but not unfortunately, they have women there that are of money as well, so they wouldn't need the things that foreign.
They respect their own people.
Yeah,
that's why they import the babes from the US,
yeah, but
and UK,
not just
and other
that.
countries.
They use slaves as well from like Uganda,
yep,
Eritrea,
West Africa as well. People that are trying to escape poverty.
Yeah, Nigeria. Like they just lock them in apartments and do horrible things there.
Yeah,
and normally there's like a divide between the people who are doing it for a genuine opportunity and then the people who do this, unfortunately, for greed. Like I said, when I talked about SPAC Nation, it seems influencer culture is causing people to really step out of bounds, to really do things that is not necessary for your dignity. Where can you take these possessions and this money with you? You cannot take it anywhere in heaven. And if you're a Christian and you're going there getting pooed in your mouth, gosh, then Jesus is looking at you thinking, why? I did not die for this.
Do you think God knew that we would do this stuff?
Of course.
Do you think that the depravity of man? I'm sorry. I'm gonna be very frank when I say that. I know some people are gonna be upset, but I cannot lay down my life for that.
Wow.
Me, I know I say like this is a no judgment zone, but I'll judge. I know that I always say this is a safe space. It is not. Okay. So before anyone, like, if this is what you've done, good for you. I'll pray for you from afar. There can be no association. Especially if you've done this willingly, like you go to Dubai maybe once or twice a year for this experience.
Once or twice a year.
Collect money.
Questioning what your itinerary for that.
I was like, don't you have any other destination? You go there, collect 50K. That's already, what's it called? That's you sorted for the year. Go there twice, 3 times, you can buy a house. And I get that, because the rest of us have to slave away and pay taxes. Do you think they report the money they get on their taxes?
No.
So you're also cheating Boris of the money that rightly belongs to him.
Huh?
Drop this English.
Okay. Let's
yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to say about these Dubai? I'm sure there'll be more to say in future episodes because, you know, more stuff that's coming out.
I don't think more stuff can come out.
Well, not out of the people's bodies when they're
just
eating
a little bit more, man. Like the priceless blood of Jesus Christ paid for your life. It is not worth 50K. It's not worth 100K. It's not worth $1 million. It's worth way. It's worth the most valuable thing, not even on earth, in heaven and earth. Okay, so just rate yourself a little bit more.
Guys, I can't lie. That's a deal breaker for me, you know.
That's a deal breaker.
No, I mean, like, imagine if, let's say, I was dating somebody and they were like, I was like, what's your past being? Like, oh yeah, I used to go to Dubai and I was treated like a potty. I'm sorry, but me, I cannot. I can't
If you're listening to this and you're an influencer,
stop.
you know, your life is so much more than that.
Yeah, it
So
is.
much more. Jesus has more for you and wants more for you.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do this. Money won't make you happy. The love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. But money is a good thing, but you just don't need to chase it like it's the only thing in the world. Yeah, you really, really do not. Jesus is he's a provider, Jehovah Jireh, you know, the Lord provides. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi, you know, these are things that God is. And why is Anna smiling? Who is he?
No, it's not even about that. Because I was just thinking, like, speaking of, you know, people not being greedy with money and you know, giving generously and holding on to money with unclenched fists. It brings us to our next topic. People generously donated and gave their finances, time, and resources to the organization.
Sorry, why does Anna keep looking up and down like she was like, we gave our time and money. It's okay. Oh my god.
Organization named BLM UK. £1 million. 1 million. I think you guys understand how much a million is. But
actually, we gave them more than $1 million because remember the baby daddy got almost $1 million. So if he's getting that,
that's the Americans though, isn't it? The UK one definitely nearly £1 million, and they bought a house. Can you imagine the money that's meant to use to get Black people out of the justice system that have been wrongfully imprisoned?
Can I actually say
to
though,
stop racism?
when people, no, I'm sorry, but when BLM started in the UK, even when they were like putting out their links for you to donate stuff, there was nowhere where I was seeing concrete steps of actually how they're going to spend their money. It was only until they got the funds and they're like, we'll change this. We'll just bring more Black people out of incarceration. But they didn't say how. They didn't say where that money was going to go to. When I went in Hume, there's lots of potholes. They've not fixed that, but they've not said exactly what they were going to use that money for. So being the angel's advocate that I am, them spending it on their parents, their gigolos, whatever.
But out of everyone here on the podcast, who donated to Black Lives Matter?
I need to check my emails and see.
Because it wasn't me and Anna. So
I need to check.
I always said Black Lives Matter as a statement, as a company. I said, I can't run with you guys. I knew from the moment they said that they don't believe in traditional families. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? He said, we don't believe in the father and the mother raising a child in a household. I said, well, I'm out.
I think people believe them because they were like the opposite of what you normally get, like in terms of like, I guess, quote unquote, cis het white men ruling companies. It's like, oh, these are Black women. They support the non-binaries. They support all the alphabets. They support all of this.
But when
they're very liberal and left-winged. So I think, although maybe you didn't give them money, but other communities that wouldn't ordinarily have given Black people money were more inclined to open their purse because they saw that these 3 women or 2 women were supporting their values.
And also supporting their wallets, apparently.
Oh, lining it.
Yeah, so I mean, because I remember something happened, I think 2 years ago or last year, where like I can't remember, but I remember some Black people just really needed some money. And everyone was like, where's that BLM money? How? This would be a good time to use it. I can't remember the situation. I just remember everyone going, where's BLM? Why aren't they helping with this situation? What happened to all the money everyone donated? And they were silent.
So do you want to tell us the situation, Anna, for those who aren't up to date with what they've done? What they haven't done?
Well, I don't even like, how did it even get exposed? Did someone like order an independent investigation on them or something?
I think they actually reported it on their taxes. So they were doing their due diligence. It just came and whooped them in the behind.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, well, for people that didn't, order an independent investigation. Shame on you, because like, how can you let over £1 million go missing like that? But yeah, so apparently they reported on the taxes that the co-founder, one of the co-founders of BLM, sent almost £1 million to her baby daddy for creative. What was it? Creative
services, you know what I'm
creative
saying?
services.
Creative
What does that
services.
even mean? What does that even mean?
I mean, it's more than the services that the people in Dubai get paid for. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
All in a day's
So
work.
we know
huh?
that Black Lives Matter pays properly for their services.
Generously.
Generously.
Yeah, and then I think they split the rest of the money between like 3-4 other people,
Including their brothers and fathers.
Yeah, said that it was a family affair basically, and they said money. Well, the thing is, they didn't even well, if it was an independent investigation, then they didn't even hide it. They just like made it seem like their family members contributed somehow, needed to get paid through the company to their personal bank accounts. Yeah. And
Can I ask you guys something? If you guys had like, maybe someone had donated, you made a bogus, I meant an organization, and you know, people came together together and they give you like, I don't know, 20 million, how much would you funnel towards your family, and what pretense would it be under?
20 million. Well, obviously what you do is you hire your some of your family members as the board of directors of your charity, and then you pay them a salary.
Do you pay the board?
Oh, sorry, you hire them as like staff, and then you pay them, you know, a salary.
I wouldn't pay my family without them actually doing work. Like,
that's what you would do. That's what you would do if you're BLM. You know, you pay them for not doing anything, so that you can say, "Oh, I hired. He was an employee, etc., etc." And that's what sometimes people do. They make people employees of their organization, and then they pay them. So yeah.
I mean, that's what the Tinder swindler did, no? He got that girl to be part of his company, and that way she could get more money from Amex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Tinder swindler.
I know, right?
That's another guy.
He wasn't making us, you know, he partied there. So when I was there, I was like, oh my God.
Sorry, what?
No, not when we were there.
Oh,
when he was stealing from those women. I mean, borrowing money from those women.
Yeah, I think he's just because he got away with it doesn't mean they should follow in his footsteps.
So this sounds like some sort of Nollywood, like, end of movie stuff where they sit together and we're like, the bad person has lost, the good person has won.
No,
glory to God.
Like, the Netflix documentary just ended up giving him free clout. Like,
doesn't he have a dating show or something now?
Free clout. Some people are trying to start a TV show with him. He went to jail for like 6 months, and he didn't even get charged for the crimes against the girls. It was the initial crimes, the Finland ones, I think, or some girls in Israel that he got charged for. So he didn't even go to jail for what he did to the girls, and now they're swimming in debt still, whilst he's partying with his new girlfriend. So the moral of the story: swindle his ass back before you bring it to Netflix.
Still.
It's just sad, you know. And I guess lastly, we'll talk about the fact that there's even more greedy people out there that take advantage of people's greed itself for items. So StockX, come to the front of the congregation.
JIREH, do you want to talk about this? What if they want to sponsor you in the future?
You've been found out to be selling fake stuff by Nike. Yeah. And I suspect that StockX, well, these are speculations from some of my friends, that they suspect that StockX has a factory where they actually supply people with the shoes, and they're fake shoes, hence why they always seem to have every single size available on their website. They never seem to be running short on certain trainers. There's also a suspicion that resellers themselves, have fake shoes and are selling it, and it's getting past the StockX authentication process. Now, the StockX authentication process is quite rigorous. it is really quite rigorous, but somehow, fakes slip through because Nike went on StockX, bought a load of shoes and found that 4 of them were fake. And they would know because they make these shoes themselves. So, that prompted me to make my video, my reel on Instagram, where I pretended to be a StockX authenticator and, just.
You had one box just filled with rubbish, like
okay,
drink containers, and you're like, it'll pass. The heck?
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the process, because they can't be looking at shoes. Clearly, they must be going hands over their eyes, and
it has a box.
Yeah, it has a box. There you go. That looks about right. It has 2 shoes.
Yep.
There we go. And I guess what I can say about that is the reseller culture has been out of control for so long. That is the height of like greed in the current culture because of influence as well. Influencers. Now, I can speak for the sneaker community on Instagram because I'm a part of it. A lot of the people that I know who are sneakerheads are normally buying shoes on resale because they can't get it on retail. And I could probably tell you that if you were able to get your shoes easily, some of the sneaker culture wouldn't exist, because some people are literally doing it for clout and hype. I've got all of this that you can't get. Look at me, I'm so amazing. Which is sad, because when we were talking about this before on the group chat, I was saying it's not just even greed, it's tied in with so many other things like jealousy, envy, covetousness. That word there. And everything else that's tied into it. Like the greed might be the source, but there's other reasons why they really want to have what they have. I want to have that trainer because no one else can have it. I want to get this money because I can go back home to London and stunt on all these people in the Shard for food that will never fill me. No, so like
we have Spinningfield. I know what you mean.
Are we saying that people from Manchester are going to Dubai to get doo-dooed?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't go back to this city. So in the same way that SPAC Nation will get people to take out loans so they can flaunt their wealth and possessions that they haven't earned. It's even worse about material possessions that you just haven't even legitimately got. Like when the Bible talks about like all these material possessions, it's referencing people that, chase the bag and they somehow have managed to get a lot of money. But these are like such underground, underhanded, underpoo methods. Like it's just so crazy. And then the fact that people are selling fake stuff for the price of real things, even worse. Like you're swindling people out of money on purpose.
More than the price.
Yeah, more than the price, more than the retail. It's just, it's not fair, man. It's just like you just have to earn your money and keep it in the bank, because
and they'll steal money from you too.
I know, even the bank is stealing money from you.
So
what rappers used to do is they used to put it in a mattress.
Yeah. What you say to someone who's listening to this, they're a Christian, but they're a trainer reseller. So what they do, like residual income and things like that. Would you say that they should stop? Would you say they should lower their prices? But they're like, I'm being a savvy businessman. What can I say?
I mean, there's generally legitimate business opportunities from this, but the problem is Nike, Adidas, New Balance, you name it, the trainer brands release a certain number of shoes. And if you use bots like robots to now go up and buy everything so that you deny people of legitimate use of buying them and wearing them, then it seems a bit unfair. If you're not going to do that, you could just lower the price then of what the other resellers are selling it at. That's what I do anyway. When I get a shoe that I don't want, I either return it or I sell it to someone who actually wants to wear it, because there are people out there that still wants to wear shoes. Shocked. Who would have thought? Because there's people who are buying 5-6 pairs and it's just sitting in their house. Send me your address. It's just sitting in their house.
Wait.
And it's not. It's just sitting in their house and they're not doing anything with it. It's the same way like people collect like Rolexes and vintage cars so that it appreciates in value so they can sell it on later on. And they do it with tickets as well. You know, if you've got a Kendrick Lamar ticket as of today and the 19th of May, some people might be looking to resell that for more money and holding that, you know, opportunistic. This is the world that we're living in.
That'd be so peak if Kendrick gets cancelled and now you want to try and sell those tickets you've ordered. Ha! Good luck.
No, unless you get insurance on those tickets, but it's okay. Yeah, man. So it's just where are we coming to? Jesus, come now. We're ready.
Please.
We're ready.
I can't even enjoy Air Forces anymore. Like, guys,
Oh, that's the
no,
worst part. Air
like,
Forces. Oh my.
now we have to create a new staple trainer that is easily accessible because Air Forces.
But even
have
if
now
you do that,
become-
they'll grab that. That's literally
True.
that's the problem with resellers. There are a group of resellers that see the opportunity and they grab it, and no one else can enjoy it because Air Forces are £100. Nike up the price. Somehow people are still buying it, but somehow these resellers thought, let me just grab everything so that no one can get it. So now, when it drops online, you have to get a notification for it to drop so you can quickly buy it. Does that make sense for shoes that are just normal all white shoes that crease?
like staple of everyone's wardrobe. Like people use it for
I don't
fashion.
own a
People use it for
You don't have a
walking.
pair, ARAMIDE. You should get a pair. They're really good to have.
Yeah, but apparently they've like doubled in price in the past like 3 years. That sounds like robbery to me.
They haven't doubled in price, but they have gone up.
For the same shoe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
for
the
the same
kids
shoe.
ones.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But the kids ones are still like
Yeah, the ones that have Velcro.
under 90.
No. Under
No,
90.
They don't have Velcro. Why would they have Velcro?
I don't know. You said the kids ones.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they
kid
have
size, like
kids'
from
sizing doesn't always have
5.5
Velcro.
downwards.
I'm suspicious. I feel like they
What
take
size
out.
are you?
I'm a size 4. I don't know why I was gonna lie. I'm a size 4.
Yeah,
Send
then
it
you're
to
fine.
ARAMIDE's address, Air Force, all white. There you go. Hopefully someone's listening and they'll do you a nice gift. Hopefully for nothing in return. We don't want to...
I don't want anyone to feel so comfortable to come to me with riffraff because I'll shout, I'll embarrass you. Like, I will actually go out of my way to tarnish your reputation because what the heck? And can I just say,
But yeah,
my mom has this adage, and I've always said it, and people think I'm crazy, but when you start lying, you start stealing. When you start stealing, you start prostituting. And when you prostitute, you're going to kill a man. Everything was said, we've seen it. People are lying in SPAC. People are stealing BLM. Women and men and the non-binaries are going to Dubai to prostitute themselves. It won't be long before we hear someone killing another person. Does it now make sense to you guys? Like, can you see the pattern? Can you see it?
The reason why reselling culture is the way it is now is because they couldn't allow people to queue up outside anymore because someone brought a gun to a sneaker store because that's what happened in like
Because of
2011. Yeah.
Nah.
So yeah.
You know what shoes are like that will never ever get in what's it called? Resale, whatever it is, Birkenstocks. Doc Martens. Those are abundantly available from now until forever. Okay. Yeah. They're never out of stock.
fair enough.
Never.
I hear it.
Never.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we end it here because there's money to be made. And
But yeah, if you guys go to Dubai and someone comes up to you and says, I'll take you shopping, be like, sorry, I have money. Thank you for the offer, but goodbye, good day, and God
I'm not poor.
bless. Like, you know what I mean? But like, Jesus be with you and make the blood of Jesus cover you today, okay? It'll make them feel super uncomfortable because most of them aren't Christians, so they'll back off, you know?
Guys, we're saying this, but I'm sure there are probably Christians who love the stuff and they just also go to Dubai to do their stuff, because I know we're talking about Dubai, but this stuff happens in the UK. So if you're a child of God and this is what you like to dabble in, do it in the safety of holy matrimony with a consenting partner. Don't use it as an excuse to sin. I know I said this is not a safe space, but if this is genuinely who you are and what you believe that the Lord has put in for you to enjoy, enjoy it in the safety of holy matrimony with a consenting partner. Amen.
Not with your work husband.
Yeah, not
with
your
your
work husband.
That's
husband.
buying you
Yeah.
a £3,000 purse because
Or
of
If a
Agreed.
work
Wives.
husband got me that, yeah, I'll accept.
Agreed.
I will accept it. I will accept it.
I'm telling you, man. And with that,
That's fine.
we
You'll be proud of me.
no
Businesswoman. Women in business. Yeah, that's right.
Women in STEM.
That's
Hello.
right.
Hallelujah.
Oh Lord. Okay. Right, guys, that's it for today. I say today, that's it for this episode. Yeah, we're signing off. Have a lovely week. Make sure you follow us on our socials. My Instagram is J_AN95 if you want to follow me for all your good sneaker, funny related content, you know. Second Nature Pod as well on Instagram. I think it's Second Nature_pod, Second Nature Pod on Twitter, YouTube channel, subscribe, you know, follow ARAMIDE. She's now doing soft life and flying around the world. Follow Anna because she might be working with Lewis Hamilton soon. So, you know, that lifestyle. Gang.
When
Yeah.
you go to Dubai for the whatever, you know, Grand Prix, whatever it is, I'm
You know
okay
what's
to go
sad?
with you.
There
I
is
wanted
a
to
one
go
in
to Dubai for my
It's Abu
birthday,
Dhabi.
and
I'll go that one then.
I was thinking about going to Dubai for my birthday rather than doing a staycation. But now,
Mm.
There's always Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi or Qatar.
All right, guys, peace.
In the Middle East.
Clear now, clear now,
Bye.
clear now, clear now. Yeah. Where's Ivy? Clear now, clear now, clear now, clear now. Clear now. The chorus man stay flying to a high place. I place my attention into the bright haze. Man playing tricks up.